Hello, welcome to Iridium Rock and Metal Reviews. Today we're going to do the best songs from 1990. So we're out of the 80s now. We're starting to see changes in the music, in the rock and metal scene. And you start to see that obviously with my list. You start to see some bands creep in here. You know, that glam metal part is sort of still there, but on its way out. So you see some changes from bands in their musical styles as well. But I've actually got 15 songs, so that's brilliant. That's really good. So 15 to 1, you know the score. 1 being the best song, my favourite song from 1990. So number 15, Slaughter, Fly to the Angels. So Mark Slaughter left Vinnie Vincent Band or was sacked or whatever, whatever went down there, got his own project together, Slaughter. Huge success out of this album, absolutely massive success. I like this album more back when I was 20 years old than I do now. Now I still listen to the odd bit of it, but I think it's got some great tracks, and the one I've chosen is Fly to the Angels. So album's called Stick It To You, sorry I didn't mention that. So yeah, that's a good track, sort of a ballady type track. Mark Slaughter's obviously a great singer, an absolutely great singer. He's not everyone's cup of tea, but I do like him. And that made my number 15. My number 14, Scorpions and Send Me an Angel. So Crazy World for me, the album was a disappointment. I really liked Savage Amusement. I thought it was one of their greatest albums, you know, and I thought when that sort of ended a really good stage for Scorpions, and the Crazy World for me, even though it was a big hit for the band, because obviously they had the big hit out of this, fucking hell, I can't even remember the name of the song now. It will come back to me like it always does. Take me to the magic of that fucking thing. So Send Me an Angel was another slow song on here, and it was a much better song than that, and I think it was a single as well. But it was the Scorpions of, you know, a few albums earlier where their ballads really take you to somewhere different, you know. Great song, actually great song on a not so good album. Production really poor as well for me on this album. Right, my number 13, Stryper, Caught in the Middle, Off Against the Law. So we was talking about at the beginning about bands taking a bit of a different direction. This is definitely a different direction for Stryper. I was watching a documentary about them as well, and it's a difficult time for the band. Obviously they got stick all the way through the 80s about, yeah, from Christian people about their message, and heavy metal is nothing to do with Christianity, and they took so much stick and made you feel sorry for this fucking band, you know what I mean? So they went and, you know, rightfully or wrongfully, but you can't blame them. They made an album that was sounded a lot different. It even had some sort of bluesy stuff in there at times, especially the title track Against the Law. But this Caught in the Middle was sort of typical classic Stryper. Love that song. On one of my not so favourite Stryper albums. Number 12, Rat, Can't Wait on Love, off Detonator. So Detonator took a lot of stick off fans. It does now, saying it's too polished, it's too commercial. I fucking love Detonator. I love that album Detonator, and Can't Wait on Love is a great track, a rocking track, and I just love it. It just brings back the Rat that you all know. Do you know what I mean? And nothing wrong with the Detonator album. Could have picked loads of songs off there. Number 11, a band that don't appear often on my lists, and I've started listening to them more now. I actually started listening to them because I saw a reaction on another channel. If you haven't checked out that channel, it's Lost in Vegas. They're a great couple of guys, hip-hop guys, that review a lot of metal music, and they did a reaction to Holy War's The Punishment Due, and watching them, and it made me listen to some more Megadeth. So Holy War's The Punishment Due is the song off of Rust in Peace. A real epic song, do you know what I mean? Some musicianship that is out of this fucking world on this song. Out of this world. There's so many twists and turns in this song. So many changes. It transitions all over the place. Fucking brilliant song. Megadeth, Holy War's The Punishment Due. Number 10, Pantera and Cemetery Gates. So Cowboys from Hell wasn't my favourite Pantera album. I thought the next couple really, like one of my best, next three actually were really good. But this was a bit hit and miss for me. Cowboys from Hell, I know it's a big favourite from fans, but Cemetery Gates is brilliant vocal from Phil Anselmo, doing some really high-pitched screaming at the end as well. Love it, really epic. Guitar sounds really great, even though that even got better. But a great track from Pantera, really good. Number 9, Y&T and Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. So this is a band that went off the boil a little bit. You know, my favourite album from them had come and gone, Down for the Count. And then Contagious was a bit too Bon Jovi sounding, like they was trying to be something they weren't, and they didn't need to be because they're so classy, this band. But this is a 10. Wasn't a bad album at all. It was sort of, I liked it better than Contagious, and Don't Be Afraid of the Dark was a great slow song, and they're really good at them. Y&T, one of the best bands for producing a ballad. Number 8, an underrated band, spoke about them before, and that's Winger, and Miles Away In the Heart of Young album. So this is a great Winger album, probably the most commercial album for me. And this is probably where they took some of their stick because of the commercial sound on this album. But I think there's some huge hooks on this. And Miles Away, I'm a sucker for ballads sometimes. There's another ballad. Great song. Number 7, Thunder, British band. Love Walked In, single off the Backstreet Symphony album. What a brilliant debut album from these guys. Like I said, British band. Vocalist is absolutely amazing. Still sings like he did back in the 80s right now. Really good debut, really strong, and it's known as a bit of a classic debut as well. So Love Walked In is, what a hook, what a chorus, brilliant song. Number 6, Pretty Maids, Don't Settle for Less off Jump the Gun. So for me, Pretty Maids, their best album was Future World, which was the album before this, but they followed it up with a really solid album, Jump the Gun. It was really great, just not quite on as the classic Future World for me, but Don't Settle for Less, second track in, great hooks, absolutely, you know, when they hit the mark, Pretty Maids, they really do it well. Lovely bit of European melodic rock metal, excellent. Number 5, Lynch Mob, Through These Eyes off Wicked Sensation. So George Lynch and his solo project, you probably all know about it. Totally bit of a different direction obviously than Dokken, where Dokken was definitely melodic, heavy rock. Wicked Sensation and Lynch Mob, especially this first album, is brilliant. And it's really a bit more rawer, but still really catchy songs. Great guitar work from George Lynch, and I love Through These Eyes. It's got so much emotion in it. Another slow song. I know a lot of slow songs are appearing on this list, but like I said, I do like a slow ballad. So Through These Eyes, though, has got a real classic epic ballad. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Number 4, Judas Priest, Painkiller. So another band that are huge with metal fans, obviously, can understand why. But they're not right up there for me, and I'm probably getting what the fuck comments right now. But I don't know what it is about Priest. Sometimes, and I know this is, again, I'm going to get shot for this, but Rob Halford, even though he's got the range there, and obviously he's a gifted guy, he's higher end of, he's amazing, do you know what I mean? But there's something about Rob Halford's tone that I'm not too keen on. But Painkiller is a fucking brilliant song. I always say this sometimes, you know, if someone comes up to you and they say, there's a few songs in there in metal music where someone says, you know, who hasn't got a clue and goes, right, introduce me to metal. And you try and think of a song that sums up heavy metal music, you probably play Hallowed Be Thy Name and like Painkiller or something like that. Absolutely relentless guitar playing. I think there's about 3 or 4 guitar solos in this, and they are outstanding as well. Brilliant song. Absolutely love Painkiller. Even though, like I said, I've got Judas Priest ain't one of my favourite bands, this is one of my favourite songs. Great song. Right, number 3, Alice in Chains, We Die Young off Facelift. So this is obviously, like I was saying earlier on, different styles of music coming in. Grunge started coming in at this time, but I don't know, you've heard a couple of me talk about Alice in Chains. I don't look on them as a grunge band. I look on them as a metal band. You know, the influences they take, Sabbath, do you know what I mean? Especially real doomy stuff, especially the next album. But Facelift was a really strong album also. And there was a few I could have chosen off of here. We Die Young, opening track, full on metal in my opinion. Absolutely superb. Obviously Lane Staley, rest in peace, what a great singer. Jerry Cantrell, can't say enough about the guy. Number 2, loving this one because when I did my best albums of 1990, I didn't include this. Hadn't heard the band before. Someone said to me, listen to this. I did a reaction. The reaction went down really well. And it was such a good, I got so much good feedback on that reaction. It was one of my highest watched videos. And the one and only Rob DeLuca, bass player, Spread Eagle, he put a comment on my Facebook page, on the YouTube, under the video, and rightfully so, because I was comparing Broken City from Spread Eagle, which is my number 2. I was comparing it to Slave to the Grind, you know, that sort of sound, and rightfully so. Rob DeLuca said to me, well, Slave to the Grind weren't even out then, and then you know, you do realise, well, did Slave to the Grind, you know, did Skid Row hear this, because you can really hear some, you know, like energy in this, like similar to Monkey Business, you know, that sort of energy in here. And Broken City blew me away when I heard it. And that reaction, check out that reaction, by the way. I love it when I hear stuff that I've not heard before and I fall in love with it, and I really have on that. So Broken City, Spread Eagle, number 2. That comes to my number 1. So it is Queensryche. It's off the Empire album. So if you look back at my Queensryche top songs, this actually doesn't appear in my top songs at the time. And you know, with me, songs switch around so much. They just like, you can't always have a favourite one day and then that's your favourite forever. They switch around, especially with Queensryche. And I was looking through what song is my favourite at the moment. So I went with Anybody Listening, the last song on the album. So on my top tracks, I went, I think I went Empire and The Thin Line. But Anybody Listening, you know what I love about this? It's more simple sounding Queensryche. I love the quiet verses, and there's so much feeling in those verses, and Jeff Tate's singing is obviously, as always, top notch. But Anybody Listening has that, like I said, it's about 6 or 7 minutes long, I think, on the end of the album. One of those classic tracks. Absolutely loved it. Right, okay, that's my video for 1990. Please tell me what your favourites are. If I've missed anything off, hope you liked it. Please subscribe. Cheers.